Hey you guys, and welcome to another TikTok Tag Me video. And this is called the Big 5 Tag, and it was created by Logan from Book Reviews by Logan. And I will leave the link to his channel down below. And he tagged me, oh my god, this is the second time in a row that I've been tagged by the creator of the tag. That's always awesomeness. I like to be tagged regardless. I really do. Maybe a little too much. Okay, but let's move on. The Big 5 centers around the 5 elements of reading, which are literature, fiction, nonfiction, textbook/educational, and magazine/newspapers. And there are 5 questions pertaining to this tag. And if you are going to do this tag, please leave it as a video response to his channel. And just tell me in the comments below whether or not you did it or not. And I will go to your channel and check it out. So let's get started. And the first question is, in order from most read to least read, put the big 5 in order. And for me, it goes fiction, magazines, literature, nonfiction, and textbook and educational. The second question is, would you change the order if you could? What would be the ideal order? If I could change it, I've tried to change it. I would do fiction, literature, magazines, nonfiction, and then textbook and educational. What do you like about each of the big 5? With literature, I find that almost always there's always double, triple meanings and subtext in each of sentences and actions that people carry. It's always interesting to see where it's going to lead and how different people interpretate everything that goes on in books. I mean, you can do that with regular books too, but I find it happens more often than not with literature books. With fiction, I like the boundless imagination of it all, if you get what I'm saying. Like, anything can happen anywhere, anytime, any place can be created. Galaxies, universes, anything that you specifically like can happen. Magic, dragons in space, magazine, like anything can happen. I love that. Nonfiction, I do love to occasionally read about people's lives and kind of what happened and how they dealt with that. Textbooks and educational stuff, I guess it's good because they teach me things. Was that enthusiastic enough? They teach me things. Yes. No. Yeah. Magazines and newspapers, I used to always love to read the funnies when I was younger. I don't read magazines as much now, or hardly ever at all. Maybe when I'm in an article occasionally for some odd reason. And then magazines, I absolutely love the articles. And the interviews with the cast and crew and directors, and just seeing what kind of goes on behind the scenes and what the actors and actresses themselves think of everything. What do you hate about the big 5? Literature. Sometimes you can be very bland and just nothing going on, and also sometimes some people, I think the authors or maybe the people who interpret it, just overthink sometimes like, dude, a bath is just a bath sometimes. It's not like some metaphorical cleansing of sins and rights and wrongs, and yeah, you just gotta stop that. Okay, fiction, yeah, you can have whatever you like the balanced imagination is great, but you still have to have rules and regulations, and your stories, they have to be consequences to actions. You can't just go around all willy-nilly and stuff. Things have to happen. Your character has to get where they going or something. With nonfiction, say this as nice as possible. Some people, your stories are boring, bland, dry. Your life story, not really worth reading. Was that nice enough? I hope it was nice enough. Textbook and educationals, sometimes it just gives me a headache. I really don't like it. Like, your wording, you're not making this fun in any way, shape, or form. You're not making me want to learn this. It's not interesting. Like, you're turning an interesting subject boring for me sometimes. With magazines and newspapers, even though, yeah, I said it before, I don't really buy newspapers anymore, but they've actually gotten one wet. Like, yeah, there's no turning back from that. It's all big and kind of bulky. And I've gotten used to compact stuff and magazines. Like, I wish your articles sometimes were longer in your interviews, but I guess you got to make space for the ads that are going on everywhere. Ads. Sometimes ads. I don't really mind ads so much, but once in a while they get on my nerves. But I do sort of like some of the free samples once in a while. Um, what is your favorite from each of the big five? And for literature, one of my favorite books is Crime and Punishment by Fadolsky Doty. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's an awesome book, and I love it. I like to think about what I would do if I was in his position, and then do the opposite of everything he did. You know, yeah, no. He was kind of crazy. It was kind of interesting to read that descent into madness, I guess you could say. And if you guys haven't heard of it or checked it out, you guys definitely should. With fiction, I chose Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card because it goes back to sort of what I was saying earlier about I love the balanced imagination involved, but it still needs structure in things, and this kind of represents that. I mean, this kind of grounded in reality makes you think that this could sort of actually happen one day, but yet it still fills your imagination with all kind of stuff that you think is awesome and cool and will totally want to try out. Okay. With textbooks and educational stuff, I just chose this psychology book apparently that I just have lying around. I'm kind of interested in the body and the mind a little bit. At one point I did want to be a psychologist, not so much anymore, but I just like to think deep thoughts once in a blue moon. I know there's a part where there's just like where they list some phobias, and I always find phobias interesting. Like some people afraid of balloons. I like to know what happened in the psychology behind all that happening. And then with magazines and newspapers, I don't have a newspaper really to show you, so I have some magazines. I have lots of magazines actually. Like I have this Empire magazine. It's a big movie magazine. Oh, look, they have the beginners back here. But I really, I bought this for The Hobbit. Loving The Hobbit. Definitely gonna watch that when that comes out. I'm already slightly stalking and getting ready for everything that's coming. And then once in a while I'll buy like some People special edition magazines. This one's for the Hunger Games. This one's for the Hunger Games. This one's for Breaking Dawn, and it's just all about that movie and what was going on during that time, and stuff like that. And then like I have a movie magic thing, and this one's centered around Harry Potter awesomeness. Oh, Miss Harry Potter. And it's always nice to kind of look into these, read these articles, see what their thoughts about things were, and then look at the pretty pictures. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And then I also get a lot of more sci-fi magazine stuff. Like this is like the greatest sci-fi stuff of all time. It's like double like this. This costs an insane amount of money, but I liked it. And it just goes through all these movies and TV shows that are like the best sci-fi. Look, the Terminator. And then like these two though, these are my favorite that I usually buy. And one of them is Sci-Fi Now, and I usually buy this a lot of times when I go to Barnes & Nobles. I actually did a magazine haul, so I'm going to leave that link down below if you haven't already seen it. But this has like features The Walking Dead, and I always find, just all these interesting, has like some Pirates of the Caribbean stuff going on. Love the Pirates movies. And like some movie reviews and stuff. And also I really like the SFX magazine, and this is one of their special editions, which means it not only comes with the magazine, comes in here, but they come like a Red Dwarf bumper kind of sticker thing going on, like, and some coasters. They gave me coasters with Primeval's pictures on it, and then they gave me like a two-sided poster, which is just a whole bunch of awesomeness. And this one has like the Misfits on it. If you guys don't watch that, you totally should look. I think Kula is still playing it. And then they have like Doctor Who. So that's a bunch of awesomeness. Love the posters and stuff. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my answers, and if you guys are doing this, remember to leave it as a video response to Logan's channel, and tell me just in the thoughts below if you did it. And if you don't, or if you're not going to do a video, just answer one of the questions down below, because I would love to see your answers and everything. And you know what, somebody asked in his comments what was the definition of literature as pertaining to this video, and I'm just going to read his response just in case you guys had the same question. And he's like, he's open to anything that you consider literature, but he would call it any text that is reviewed and studied. And if you haven't read anything, then you don't have to do that certain part of the tag if you don't want to. For me, I went with, like, when I thought about literature, I thought about, like, the Grapes of Wrath, of Mice and Men, The Catcher in the Rye, like Animal Farm, The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, stuff like that, or like Oedipus, I guess. If you can, I hope I'm saying that right, but you know who Oedipus is, right? It's that story about who that guy who was destined to marry his mother and kill his father. Messed up story, but loved it. Yeah, you guys should check that out too. No, yeah. So apparently off subject brain for me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'm just going to tag some people, and I wrote it down once again, and it was, I'm going to tag Danielle from aranil, Tracy from Tracy Michelle 210, Ashely from Ashley's Got Book Excitement, Kara from The Reader of Awesome, Erin and Jeremy from Matham's Books, Lindsey from T and Jeep Gal, Debbie from Debbie Hoyes, Erin from Wrath's Queen, Rincey from Rincey Reads, Alwaysbookhungry, Joseph from The Booktubinator, Sarah from Sarah with an H, Bunny from Bunny Cates, Richard from Mr. Richard Denny, Amira from Amira's Book Reviews, Raeleen from Padfoot and Prongs 07, Lizzie from Lizzie Books, and Courtany from Books with Court. So yeah, I hope you guys decide to do this tag, even though I didn't specifically tag you, but I am tagging everybody. So yeah, everybody do the tag. I'm using the force. Okay. Geekiness show through. So I'm just gonna go now. And I will see you guys later. I'll leave the links to everybody I tagged down below into their video station. I'm just gonna go now before it gets any more awkward. I'm using the force to make you forget I said this.